A very, very happy Easter Monday to you. Whatever your beliefs about Easter are, I hope you're enjoying today. Most places, I think, is at the very least, it's a day off, which is always welcome for some of us anyway. So what I wanted to talk about today was multitasking, because I went for a lovely walk yesterday with my husband in the national park. It was beautiful. We went quite early, and we took the dog, and it was just stunning. The birds were singing, the insects were buzzing, everything was so green and lush and fecund, and just everything bursting forth, and new life beginning, animals pairing up, deer springing about the place. It was just beautiful, and there wasn't a drop of wind. The lake was like glass and just reflecting the beautiful blue sky and the clouds scudding by and the mountains in the background. And it was a really, really beautiful experience. And I couldn't help but notice that I must have passed, I would say, at least 20 women ploughing their way through the national park in their running gear, and fair play for getting out and doing that exercise. That's amazing. What saddened me was that every single one of them was plugged in they were either talking on the phone, or they were plugged into obviously listening to something. And I just couldn't help but notice that there was so much that was being missed, that was being, that they weren't present to. Because you can't be, it doesn't matter how good we are at multitasking, we can only focus on one thing at a time, even if that shifts, moment to moment. It means that we're not fully present with where we are, and we're therefore not able to really give our best, to give fully, and we're also not able to receive fully. And I think that when we take the trouble, I feel that when we take the trouble to actually go some way towards that level of self-care by getting ourselves out and giving ourselves the gift of beautiful fresh air in our lungs and exercise, that we could be getting the whole package. And that is all the things that I described, the beautiful surroundings and feelings that come with all our five senses. And when we plug ourselves into a machine, because that's what it is, then we are cutting ourselves off from that. I don't care what anyone says. We are distracted. We are not fully feeling, embodying the full experience. Now, I'm not judging anyone here, because I don't know what's going on. For all I know, there could have been, various family emergencies, or it could be the only time somebody gets to speak to somebody, privately. I don't know. But it just struck me that it wasn't one or two women. It was all of them. It was 20 odd women. And I think that is a pattern for us, that there is some kind of pride or self-worth bound up with our ability to multitask. It's something that maybe we've been told, or that we've witnessed, that it's, this is what sets us apart from men, because we can multitask. And I don't think that serves us. It certainly doesn't serve me. I find that when I can, of course I can. I actually made a living from it and got to the top of my game as far as that was concerned. That's what producers do, and that's what I used to do, is multitask every second of every minute of every hour of every day. And it made me extremely ill. And what I've learned since is to just keep lowering that expectation. And yes, I can get loads of things done. Yes, I'm very efficient when I need to be. And yes, on occasion, multitasking can be very useful. And I completely get that it is useful when you've got young children. But it is not meant to be a sustainable thing. It's not meant to be something that we live our lives by, because we do ourselves a disservice by doing that. And I think that if we can separate the part of us that is a multitasker and is, really efficient and, does all these things all at once, and say, okay, you deserve a break now. You really deserve a break. I love that you can do that. Thank you for doing that. And I'm going to actually just give us a little bit of a breathing space in between those multi things, because actually then I get to experience things fully, and other people get to experience me fully. So I'm both giving and receiving in a totally present state. I don't know about you, but it actually really triggers me when I feel that somebody is physically in the room with me, but I know that they're somewhere else. I can feel it. I know that they're thinking about something else, and they have a sort of glazed expression on their face. And that now triggers me to just check, oh, I wonder have they actually heard me? Because I can feel they're not really listening. They're not really present. There's a man I live with who does that quite a lot. And often I just ask, would you mind just telling me what you think it is that I've just said? And quite often it's not at all what I was trying to communicate. And of course, that's not always, I'm not saying that's anyone's fault. And, sometimes that is indeed how I've been communicating it. And it is also going to happen more when we are not fully present to whatever we're doing. So that is something I wanted to invite you to practice, because it is a practice. Just actually noticing how we can disentangle doing several things at once, and we can just focus on one thing at a time. And the important thing here is, after we've done that mindfully as possible, as presently as possible, that we actually just give ourselves a couple of moments to register how that feels. If we are walking in the park, for example, can we do that without being plugged in? And then notice the difference between doing it like that and doing it when we're plugged in, because there has to be some bank of evidence for our subconscious selves to know that actually this feels better, it feels nicer for me. And then there's a reason to continue with that practice. So that's what I want you to do this week if you can. Obviously you can choose not to, but I do think that it is a practice, and it is like any habit. If we want to actually just slow things down in order to feel much more relaxed, much more calm, and still be productive, because you know what? I find I get things done quicker when I do them one at a time than if I do them all at once, quite often. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say this week. Let's see if I've forgotten anything. Noticing how I feel, and then moving on to the next thing, and also actually congratulating ourselves. So just, registering, I managed to do it differently. That's really good. And it did feel better, and I like that. and I want more of it. And then it won't take long to do things differently, and you will notice how much more relaxed and calm you are, and how much more connected you might feel to your surroundings, but also to people that you might be with, whether that's children, partners, friends, but even watching something, actually. When you're watching and scrolling at the same time, do you really take in both? Why do you need to do that? Something I know that my son does quite a lot, finds it very hard to concentrate on a film, just a film. Not always, though. I'm doing him a disservice. Shouldn't really say that. Anyway, I'm rambling now. So practice. Do let me know how you get on. If you think, actually, that is quite a hard thing for me to shift, and there's all sorts of entangled stuff around feeling that I'm productive, and that means that I'm, worthy, and that I'm important, or, any of that stuff, then do give me a call, and we can explore that together and transform it together if you want to. Okay, have a beautiful Easter Monday and a wonderful week. And do let me know what you think. Maybe you disagree with me. Okay, take care.